Welcome back Chessbox Worldwide. Let's get into it. You already know the names, but you don't know the full story behind this epic showdown during the 2019 Zone 4.2 Nvidia Chess Championship, which took place in Kenya. This wasn't just a tournament, it was a brutal proving ground for a sport to qualify for the prestigious Chess World Cup. 3 Grandmasters entered the fray, but the pressure was so intense. One of them, GM Esham Elgendi, all the way from Egypt, lost his nerve and withdrew just to save his rating. That's how high the stakes were. And then it all came down to a single moment where Uganda's chess beast Bob Bibasa stepped onto the chessboard to face the reigning Egyptian champion GM Adly Ahmed. With the 500-point rating difference, the entire chess world was ready to write Bibasa off. This game wasn't about ratings. It was a battle for a title, for a legacy, for the chance to prove that the true heart can punch above its weight class. The board erupted, and what happened next sent shockwaves across the continent. Get ready to watch the game that shook everyone and made a hero. Bob Bibasa is a highly decorated FIDE master from Uganda. He began his chess career in 1992 and has since won numerous tournaments, establishing himself as one of East Africa's most successful players. His many titles include being a former Vision champion and a Kenyan Open champion. A key moment in his career was earning his FIDE master title in 2019 during the African Zone 4.2 Chess Championship. While Adly Ahmed is an Egyptian chess grandmaster and one of the strongest players in Africa. He earned his Grandmaster title in 2005. He won the 2007 World Junior Chess Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the center of African chess. In the white pieces, the beast from Uganda, FM Bob Bibasa, opened the game with 1 e4 and Grandmaster Adly Ahmed played c5, the Sicilian defense. Knight f3, knight f6, and after knight c3, d6. In this position, Bob wanted to deviate from all other theoretical lines of the Sicilian, so he went on and played bishop b5, check. Knight comes to d7, or bishop coming to d7, followed by pawn f4, supporting the bishop. But however, in this position, Adly played a new move. Adly played knight d7, trying to maintain and reserve the bishop pair in the board. f4, having the continuation, s6, and now he played bishop c4. Pawn comes to e6. Short castling from Bob, and after knight comes to c6. In this position, he went on to hit in the center. He played d4, and after c takes d4, knight takes d4. In this position, Adly went on and played knight e5, hitting on a bishop which is on c4, bishop b3, bishop d7. Bob went on to expand on the queen side. He played f4, hitting on the knight, and now we see knight takes d4, and after queen takes d4, he took back the knight on c6 to hit back on the queen. Queen f2, maintaining the diagonal to avoid any funny checks coming from the queen on b6 and also putting an eye on the b6 square. Bishop comes to e7, planning to go ahead for short castling. Bishop e3. Now in this position, Bob has gone forward to connect the rooks. And now we see short castling from GM Adly, d1. And now Adly, because of this bishop, he went on and played King h8, a prophylactic move, because in the future he aims to go ahead and push f5 pawn so as to hit on the center. Rook comes to d2, planning to go ahead and connect the two rooks because of the queen, which is sitting on d8. Queen e8, moving away from the battery of the rook. Bishop comes to b6, taking control of the b6 square. He played f5, hitting in the center and also opening up a route for the queen to step in to attack the king side. Rook e1, maintaining the battery of the queen. Rook c8, and now Bob played e takes f5, trying to open lines, and after rook takes f5. In this position, Bob played a very smart, brilliant move. I would like to give you a second to suggest the move Bob played in this position. Bob Bibasa, the beast from Uganda, played rook takes e6. Fantastic move. Trying to get rid of the weaknesses and also put the bishop on e6. Because now the bishop is looking at the rook. So in case of bishop taking rook, the bishop is going to be looking at both rooks here. He realized the gravity of this move. He went on to simplify the position further. He played bishop takes rook on e6. Bishop takes e6. Now we see that the bishop is hitting on the rook, which is on c8. At the same time, the rook, which is on f5. Adly played also the best move. He played bishop d8. The queen is attacking, and also at the same time the bishop is going to be taking the bishop on b6. Because Bob becomes greedy and he plays bishop takes rook, bishop takes b6, and after queen takes b6, e1 is checkmate. That's why in this position, Bob played another super move. He played rook e2. He's defending the bishop, at the same time putting an eye still on the two rooks. Bishop takes b6. He played queen takes b6. He's still looking at the rook, and the pawn which is on f4 is still untouchable. In case of rook takes f4, we could see bishop takes c8. Now the rook is attacking the queen, and in case of queen takes c8, another super move. Queen takes b7. Black can't take the queen because of the bank rack weaknesses. Rook coming to e8 is a checkmate. That's why after queen takes b6, Grandmaster Adly Ahmed played rook f8, bishop takes c8, and after queen takes c8, he played g3, defending the pawn on f4, h6, opening up a window for the king, queen e3, and after queen f5, he played king g2, d5, threatening to go ahead and fork the two pieces. In this position, it was high time to play queen e6, requesting for an exchange, but Bob went on and played queen d3, and after queen takes d3, c takes d3, knight b4 should have been considered. He played d4, knight d5 was the best move. For example, after knight d5, we could see rook coming to d8, knight e7. For example, in case of knight b4, hitting on the pawn on d3, knight check, and after king g8, knight e5, defending the pawn on d3, at the same time also placing the knight in the center, which can give white a huge advantage. But however, after d4, Bob played knight b4, and in this position, after knight coming to b4, Bob, instead of playing knight c5, he played knight f2, signaling to the Grandmaster that Bob was very ready for the draw. And in this position, you see that the pawn on d3 is protected. The rook is also looking at the pawn which is on b2. The rook is threatening to enter in and attack the pawn on b7. In this position, Adly agreed to draw. The game ended in draw. After this result, Bob had only one round to go, of which he went on to win, making him earn his prestigious FIDE Master title. After a long journey of being a candidate master, finally he went on in 2019 to be crowned FIDE Master, and he became one of the titled players in East Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to go ahead and comment about this game in the comment section. Thank you for watching, and I'm looking for your feedback in the comment section, and I wish you the best of luck in your games. Shalom.